Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we will be setting up and installing macOS onto a PowerBook G4 Titanium. Here it is. It's in pretty good shape with only some minor paint wear here and there. The hinge is strong and the battery on here also works. It held the charge for around 30 or 40 minutes, which is pretty decent considering how old this is, and while it likely won't work for very long, I tracked it at somewhere in the 50% range of battery health and coconut battery. Well, it probably won't last long before fully dying. For a little while it'll be useful for taking it places or just moving it around without having to shut it down and stuff. And so yeah, there's some like minor paint wear, especially around the optical drive and the this piece right here on the other side, which makes sense. Those are the areas that would have seen the most wear. But I've been doing all my testing through other Macs and booting other Macs installs of OS X using target disk mode. When I bought this computer, it cost me only like $50, and then with shipping it was obviously a little more. But I've been told it had been wiped, and it was a retired college laptop. And I'd clearly seen an easy life, but when it arrived, turns out wiped meant hard drive removed. Alright, no problem, that's fine, I can install a new one, I have a spare. I just recently upgraded an iBook G4 to an SSD, so I had a spare, admittedly slow drive lying around that was 60 gigs, plenty of storage. But they also took out the caddy and the cable. Clearly they just ripped it out with no thought whatsoever about using this laptop in the future. So I went to eBay to try to order a new cable, but the only guy selling one was trying to sell it for $50. Are you ridiculous? Well, I looked other places, and eventually I found one from a site that actually had good reviews. It's called The Bookyard. Only problem is they were based in the UK, so it took 3 weeks to get here. But I now have a flex cable for a PowerBook G4 Titanium. They added a little holographic sticker for their business. I have to say, based on this one transaction, I do recommend them. So if you need old parts, they're an Apple reseller. They sell Macs as well as parts, and they have some for even computers this old, which is pretty impressive. So if you need old parts, get them there. Good business, especially if you're based in the UK. So we're just gonna remove my functioning battery and install a spare drive, and we'll get OS X installed. I have already had the chance, of course, to test this laptop out using target disk mode, which basically allows you to turn another old Mac into an external hard drive that you can attach up via FireWire. And yeah, this thing works great. So all it needs is a hard drive, and it'll be fully up and ready to be used again. So I can't wait. I'll finally get to use my TiBook, because this is really a laptop I've been wanting for just such a long time, and just being able to finally have one that'll work and is in overall pretty acceptable cosmetic condition, well, it makes me happy. So this is just a fun extra video. As for specs, this thing's got half a gig of RAM, so I could run Leopard on here. Of course, it would be very slow. The graphics chip in this is a ATI Mobility Radeon, which is the exact same graphics card that's in my Dell Latitude C610, which was the first laptop I ever had. It has 16 megabytes of video RAM. It has pretty terrible performance under OS X Leopard, which isn't even officially supported on this Mac. This is the Gigabit Ethernet model, so it still has a VGA display out, and it doesn't have like a Leopard supported processor. These either were 550 or 667 megahertz, and this is the 667. So yeah, it's the faster of the two, which is really nice. And I have booted up Leopard in target disk mode, and it does work. It's just pretty slow, especially graphically. So, especially considering I've only got a 4200 RPM hard drive in here, I'm just gonna stick with Tiger and OS 9, which will be plenty for this old thing. Alright. Now, another challenge here is going to be the fact that I don't have the caddy. Now, I'll see how the hard drive sits in here without a caddy, but I'm probably gonna have to add like some bubble wrap or something to get this in, but let's just test fit this cable. There we go. The drive would just go down in there like that. So good. And let me get my drive. Alright, here is our hard drive. It is a Fujitsu, 4200 RPM. I believe it's totally healthy. Before I put it in here, I'll do a quick test, just to make sure, you know. But, yeah, it seems to be all good. This actually has an install of Leopard on it right now. And so that'll boot right up on here. But again, I do want Tiger and OS 9 on here, so I'm just going to do a total restore of this and then find a OS 9.2 Universal CD, install OS 9, and then install OS 10 on top of the install of OS 9. Keep it simple, keep it all on one partition, just to make it easy. So, we're gonna just do that. And yeah, this should fit right in here. I'll see how snugly it fits. What I'm basically gonna do here is add some like bubble wrap on the top. Now, I have some spare bubble wrap right over here. So I'm just gonna cut this to size and then put it right there. Yeah, here's the drive. Hey! Nice. Alright, this cable seems to be working. Alright, and it says iBook G4 14-inch 1.42 gigahertz. Yeah, because this is the old hard drive out of my iBook G4. So yeah, this is obviously Leopard, and so it's gonna perform pretty poorly on this thing. So I've got all my documents and everything important off of this hard drive already. But you can see, this was a really big install. I had a ton of stuff on here. And like one of the things you'll notice is this is all supposed to have that thing you can see in each side on the whole name, but that's bugged because of this unsupported graphics card. And yeah, 57% battery health. But pretty decent compared to the age of this battery, so yeah, nice. Alright, let's get OS 9.2.2 on here. I'm just going to insert a whole ton of disks because I forget I didn't label my OS 9.2.2 disk. And I think I do need 9.2.2, not 9.2.1. And so, let me just make sure. No, this can run 9.2.1. Alright, sweet. I can use my normal disk and then update it later. Because my main OS 9 install disk is 9.2.1. Ugh. Should have just burned a Universal 9.2.2 disk. Oh well. What I'm going to do first, actually, is boot into a Tiger DVD. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I want to format this hard drive as HFS Plus journaled, not HFS Plus. And booting into a Tiger DVD is the easiest way to do that. So I'm just gonna restart. This is a noisy DVD drive, by the way. Something's catching. But it does work. I tested it. I'll be back when this boots. Alright, we're in. Yeah, there we go. Hard disk is also mounted. Let's just run macOS install. Uh-oh. This program cannot run on your computer. See the documentation for more information. Okay. Guess I will need a 922 universal disk. This one probably needed a special disc to run it. Now I obviously don't have that disc. So let's see if I can eject the CD. Oh. Alright. I'm gonna go try to find my OS 9.2 disc. And if I can't find it, then I will burn a new one on my iMac G5. In fact, I'll probably just go and burn a new one now, honestly. And then I'll get back to this project. Alright, see you then. Alright, I burned OS 9.2 to a disk. My iMac G5 clearly was not very pleased with the fact that I was showing interest in a different computer, though, because when it was done burning, when it ejected the disk, it's never done this before, it spat it totally out and knocked it all the way down to the floor from my desk. So, my iMac's over here. You can see the DVD drive's right here. It just ejected it. Normally it hangs out so I can grab it, but no, it just spat it out. It's on the floor. It was on the floor. Now, let's just get this thing installed. Once again, I'm going to do my little thing and get it ejected. I'll show it ejecting, I guess, this time. There we go. Boop. And now, there we go. There we go. Alright, let's try this again. It's a good thing this disk booted. I realized I didn't lower the burning speed, like, at all. Which I usually do. Like this one I've labeled specifically burned at 8x speed, works in Blueberry clamshell. Great, so that means this disk may work in this computer, but because I probably burned it at like 16x, it won't work in like any of my other old Macs that are older than this. Yeah, that's good. Alright, install. This should be pretty quick. The installation's done. I wonder what wallpaper it's going to pick as the default. These old versions of Mac OS automatically set the wallpaper to one that matched the computer. And looks like this one did the same. I did have to plug in, battery ran low while I was installing it. Likes to drop down to low percentages randomly. It's not very well calibrated. It's an old battery, you know, that's just how it is. Let's see though. Come on. Alright. macOS Setup Assistant, this doesn't have anything useful. Airport Setup Assistant, that straight up doesn't work on my Wi-Fi. And yeah, here we are. Oh, it's so strange seeing macOS 9 on a computer like this one. Just a few things I gotta do before we install Tiger. Appearance. You have to turn on Platinum sounds. What theme did it use? I'm not sure, doesn't matter. Alright. Another thing that I was gonna do, and now I forgot what that was. Yeah, I forgot. Let's just check about this computer. Yeah, 922. And check the system profiler. Yep. PowerBook G4. Nice. These sounds will never get old. Alright. Now, it's Tiger time. Yep, install there. We're going to customize. I'm going to install X11. and disable all the language options and printer drivers. And now this will not take nearly as long to install. This DVD is fine. I use it every other week to install, at least that's what it feels like to install Tiger on DVD enabled computers. Well, DVD equipped. I think it's a little odd how white this one bezel is compared to all the other bezels on this computer. I wonder if they've faded over time a little bit, or if that's just how they were when they were new. Either way, this is a really beautiful system. It's too bad these aren't very durable. Alright, you know what time it is now. It's welcome video time. Oh yeah, this never gets old. I live in the eastern United States, and New York is the default zone. There we go. Date and time are correct. Anyways, we're in an install of Tiger now. I can size down my dock to the size I like it to be, which is pretty small. I go into sharing settings to change the computer name to PowerBook G4 Titanium. There we go. Indeed. Then we'll go into accounts, and now, first of all, I don't want my picture to be a stupid baseball. I want it to be a cat. Then I do not want to auto login. I'm gonna change the desktop background to daisies. Let's see how this looks. I'll probably set it as a custom one eventually. Nah, I'm gonna do leaf curl for now. It's one of my favorites. And that's all in system preferences. I will also show percentage up here and eject my DVD. I'll get all my software transferred over here, my music and stuff like that, and then I'll do software updates, just get the computer set up. But yeah, we're pretty much done. And I could do all that off camera later on anyway, so I'm gonna call it here. This was a successful repair, and once again, I forgot to go into the dang computer and put one of these stickers in. Okay, every time I order something from iFixit, I get these stickers, and I have these that say I fixed it. I want to start putting these in everything that I service, and since I just installed a hard drive in this, I was going to do that. The only one I've used so far is one that's on my desk right here, just sitting on my desk for some reason, and I wanted to put one inside here, so next time if I ever have to get in here again, I'll be able to remember this time. But hey, at least I'll have a YouTube video to look back on. Alright, I'd say we're up and running. All that's left to really do on this is to install like a max memory upgrade. I'll probably do that at some point. And I'll also probably at some point put an SSD in here. For now, the hard drive's fine, but this is the kind of computer I'd want to put an SSD in. So maybe in a few months you'll have a video on that as well. I mean, it's pretty easy to get into this thing, so who knows. Anyways, what is this PowerBook going to serve to do for me that I couldn't do before with my million other laptops? Well, first of all, it's my fastest computer that can run OS 9, period. That should be reason enough to have this thing around. Dedicated OS 9 machine. Second, this thing has a PC card slot. It does card bus and PCMCIA, and that's useful because it works as a great bridge machine to my older PowerBooks that don't have USB. I currently use a compact flash PC card to transfer files in between them, but unfortunately, recently, right as I got it, the compact flash card USB card reader I was using broke. So I'd have to be using a Windows computer from like 2007 with a card bus slot in it just to get stuff transferred over. And that was kind of a pain because I had to get out this. It's a giant 17-inch laptop. First of all, battery's dead. It's just a pain. It has speed problems too with its Windows 7 install, and yeah, it's just kind of a pain. And plus, I had format. It was just harder in general. It was just harder in general to get files in between it because I had to keep reformatting the card as Windows and Mac, and it was just a pain. But now that I have a dedicated Mac that I can use until I actually go pay up for a new card reader, I could just use this thing. Since this thing's internet and USB enabled and has FireWire and all this stuff, it's great for that. And also, the third and final thing this will serve as is a good rescue machine for installing Mac OS on old computers, because there have been times before where I've needed to take the hard drive out of one of my old Macs and install an operating system on it, or do some maintenance that requires me to have a different Mac. Let's say, for example, this is a real thing that happened. My PowerBook G3, when I first got it, I had to wipe the admin password off of it before I could use the install. I didn't have a CD drive for it, and I still don't, so I couldn't boot an OS X DVD to wipe the password, and I couldn't simply reinstall OS X either. So what I had to do is I had to take the hard drive out and put it in a... So normally there's a way you can clear it in single user mode, but for some reason it wouldn't boot into single user mode. Don't know why. So what I had to do is I had to take the hard drive out of the PowerBook, which is really easy. But then I had to put it in a different, newer Apple laptop so I could boot into single user mode and wipe the password. But how was I going to do that? Because all of my other PowerPC laptops at the time that I had were iBooks. And if you know a thing or two about iBooks, you'll know they're a huge pain to get to replace the hard drives in. So I had to take apart an iBook clamshell, which is a huge pain, just to wipe the password on an OS X install. You saw how easy it was to get the hard drive out of this PowerBook earlier, or rather to install the new one in. This is going to serve from a machine to use if something like that happens, and that's happened before. I ended up having to take the clamshell apart again when I upgraded the hard drive in that same PowerBook G3, because I had to reinstall a new copy of OS 9 and OS X. Now I could just do it on this PowerBook. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Oh god. So yeah, that's what this is going to serve for, and it also has some pretty decent speakers, so I can use it for sound and music as well, and typing and other stuff I could use any of my old computers for. So, thanks so much for watching. I'll see everybody next time. If you enjoyed this video, hey, leave a like if you want to. It would help out my channel a lot, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing. See y'all next time. Bye!